All right, hello wine drinking people, we are back. Still Tuesday, March 8th, and a lot of drinking over the last few days here. You know, we only got 3 emails out last week, so, you know, we may have like 5 or 6 videos on this one, but a lot of great stuff. And, you know, it's always nice to see old friends. And whenever I visit the wines of Charles Krug, or whenever someone stops by to visit me with the wines of Charles Krug, it's like seeing an old friend again. This is the oldest winery in Napa Valley, owned by the Mondavi family. Yes, that's right, folks. Not the Robert Mondavi side of the family, but his brother Peter. And, well, this is one of these wineries that these guys wanted to have this legacy, and they wanted to be able to pass this winery down to their children. And unfortunately, the Mondavis had this bitter family feud, and Bob's side of the family, well, he went out and opened his own winery, Robert Mondavi Winery, and you guys know what happened with that, the most famous success story in the California wine industry. However, the kids, just like their generation before them, fought, and unfortunately, they no longer own the Robert Mondavi Winery. It's owned by Constellation Brands, hostile takeover in 2004. But the Peter Mondavi family does still own Charles Krug Winery, and this is a winery also that almost was taken out of family hands when they thought they would have to sell after the lawsuit that Robert and his brother Peter were in, where they awarded Robert, you know, a huge sum of money, and they had to borrow money. So for years, Krug was under big financial stress, and it's just nice to see a family that's climbed out of this deep hole, and today one of the premier families still in Napa Valley. Well, both Robert's side and Peter's side, neither one of these guys got anything to worry about financially. They invested in the valley back when land was dirt cheap, and even though they ran their business and had to raise a lot of money through the years, these guys still, you know, have got some prime vineyards throughout Napa and making some very good wines. That's one of the advantages to owning your own land in a place like this, and having bought it generations ago. You know, to try to buy land in Napa Valley today and produce wines like these, you have to charge twice as much. The land costs are so exorbitant still today, even with the recession and with, you know, prices coming down in real estate. You'd be hard-pressed to find an acre of land in Napa Valley for under $200,000 an acre of prime real estate. Hey, in Australia, in some places you can find prime real estate in vineyard wine country for $3,000 an acre. That's why, folks, Australia may be where I go to retire and open my winery. All right, well, they speak English down there anyways. So we're going to start out with the Sauvignon Blanc from Napa 2009. This is a wine that usually has a place on our shelf, one of the best values from California in the range of Sauvignon Blancs. Melon and grapefruit fruit here on the nose, hints of white flowers and stone, very fresh, bright citrus fruit on the palate. They harvest this wine at night to maintain the freshness, and they use dry ice to lower the temperature of fermentation to maintain the fruitiness. And really nice savoriness, a little hint of salt on the finish. Leaves the tongue salivating for food, one of the things we like about Sauvignon Blanc. Very good. Well, the Chardonnay from Krug I've never been a huge fan of. For some reason, it just seems a little bit flat, but some nice ripe apple and peach fruit here, toasty oak, little buttery nuance. You know, like I said, not a bad wine, just for some reason their Chardonnay has never hit me. The Pinot Noir, however, very nice, very pretty bouquet. Forward and seductive black raspberry fruit, black cherry with a hint of floral nuance. Bright black raspberry fruit on the palate. A fresh and clean style of Pinot Noir. Just a hint of floral and spice on the finish. Really nice little Pinot at $22. All right, next up the Merlot. And the Merlot's got a lovely ripe, plummy, and cherry fruit to the nose. One of the things I love about Merlot is the seductiveness of the fruit, the plumminess, the jamminess you get on your palate, and the smooth tannins it has on the finish. Well, this wine also has a hint of dried tobacco, and there's a touch of Syrah and Petit Verdot added into the blend here. So a little bit of fresh earth also showing up on the nose. Smooth and round tannins, as I mentioned before, with that lovely plummy cherry fruit on the tongue. A nice balanced style of Merlot with some of that spice and earthiness showing through on the finish. A little bit short, but very good. And then the Cabernet Sauvignon Napa. Well, this wine used to be called Yountville a year ago, and they're now using some Howell Mountain fruit in addition to the Yountville. So they've just termed it Napa in 2008, may go back 2009 to the Yountville. But a really nice Cabernet, one of my top picks, the 07 Yountville for a Cabernet from Napa Valley. This wine has lovely currant and cherry berry fruit on the nose with a hint of cigar box spice, some fresh earth nuance, and a little chocolate note there as well. This has got also has a bit of Syrah added to the Bordeaux varietals this year. A nice amount of stuffing on the tongue without being too big and chewy. This wine's got a lot of fruit, balanced acidity, an excellent bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon for under $25 a bottle. All right, next up, the Generations. And no Syrah in this wine, folks. But really nice blend of all 5 Bordeaux varietals. One of the best Cabernet Sauvignons coming out of Napa Valley at under $50. As I mentioned before, this is a family that's got several generations of history in the wine business here and a lot of great vineyard sites. This is their top wine at Krug. Well, the top one that they release broad market anyways. A lot of toasty oak spice on the nose, fresh plowed black earth, and a good amount of currant and black cherry fruit, and some nice cigar box spice here. Very complex nose. Lovely richness on the palate. Forward and seductive with layers of dark spices, cocoa, fresh earth. Lovely balance and length on the finish. Most excellent juice. Again, I challenge you to find a better Napa Valley Cab for under $50. All right, well, that's what we had to drink with the folks from Charles Krug. Next up, a small Italian importer, Old Bridge Cellars.